Welcome back to the channel, JF Coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today we are diving into the fascinating history and value of one of the most iconic coins from the United States, the 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny. This ultra collectible penny is not just a simple piece of copper, it carries with it a deep history, incredible stories, and yes, even some surprising value in today's market. So let us take a step back in time. To the year 1925, imagine the roaring 20s in full swing. America was booming, jazz was playing, cars were roaring down the streets, and hidden in pockets, purses, and cash registers across the nation were millions of tiny copper coins that today have become treasures for collectors. The Lincoln Wheat penny, first introduced in 1909, was designed to honor President Abraham Lincoln, and quickly became one of the most beloved coins in American history. On the obverse side, we see the familiar portrait of Lincoln, created by the famous designer Victor David Brenner, while the reverse side proudly displays two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent United States of America. Now, when it comes to the 1925 wheat penny, this coin may look ordinary at first glance, but it is far from it. The year 1925 was a key time for the Lincoln cent, and while many were produced, they did not all survive in high condition. Copper coins from that era often corroded or were heavily used, so finding a 1925 penny in fine condition or better is a real challenge, and this scarcity is what adds to its value. Today let's talk mint marks. The 1925 wheat penny was struck at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your penny has no mint mark, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. If you see a small D under the date, it is from Denver, and if there is a tiny S, it came from San Francisco. Each mint had different production levels, and each carries its own rarity. The San Francisco mint in particular produced fewer coins, making the 1925 S penny one of the most sought after by collectors. Now let us get into what everyone wants to know, the value. While a heavily circulated 1925 wheat penny might only be worth a few cents or perhaps $1, the story completely changes when the condition improves. Collectors today are willing to pay serious money for coins with sharp details, clear lettering, and minimal, where a beautifully preserved 1925 penny graded in higher conditions can reach up to $42 in the current coin market. Yes, you heard that right, a small copper coin once worth only a single cent can now be valued at over 40 times its face value. That is the magic of coin collecting. But here is something even more exciting: rare varieties and errors from 1925 can push the value even higher. Imagine discovering a double die error or an off-center strike. Such coins are extremely rare, and when they surface, collectors can bid hundreds of dollars just to add one of these to their collection. This is why every penny you come across should be checked carefully, because you never know when you might be holding a hidden treasure. The legacy of the Lincoln Wheat penny does not stop with its value alone. It represents the very heart of American history. The wheat design itself was symbolic. It represented growth, prosperity, and the hardworking farmers who built the nation. When the design was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial, it marked the end of an era. That is why every wheat penny carries with it nostalgia and a reminder of the past, and the 1925 issue stands tall as one of the coins that bridges the gap between everyday use and valuable collectible. So if you are someone who has just discovered coin collecting, or maybe you found a jar of old pennies in your attic, do not overlook that humble 1925 Lincoln cent. Take a magnifying glass, look at the details, and check for mint marks. What may seem like a tiny brown coin could actually be worth much more than you imagine, especially in today's market where collectors are actively searching for these historic pieces. The thrill of coin collecting is not just about money, it is about the stories, the art, and the history each piece holds. The 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny is more than just copper. It is a snapshot of a bygone era, a memory you can hold in your hand, and a collectible that continues to fascinate and surprise collectors around the world. So next time you come across a penny, do not just toss it aside. You never know if that 1 cent could actually be worth $42 or even more in the right condition. Take care of your coins, keep searching, and who knows, maybe the next treasure is already waiting in your pocket. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of the 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny. If you enjoyed learning about this coin and its value, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more coin history, and hit the bell so you never miss a chance to discover more hidden treasures. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next coin find be the jackpot you have been waiting for. Would you like me to also create a shorter, catchy version of this script for quick TikTok or YouTube short style videos that hook viewers in under 1 minute? Today we are diving deep into the world of United States 1-cent wheat pennies, and we are focusing on a very interesting and highly collectible piece. the 1954 D Lincoln wheat cent. This little copper coin may only say 1 cent on its face, but its story, its history, and its potential value in today's market make it worth a whole lot more than just 1 penny. Some collectors have even valued it up to $42 or more depending on its grade, rarity, and condition. So stay with me as I uncover every detail you need to know about this fascinating coin. Let us begin with the history. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in American history. It was the first United States coin to feature the portrait of a real person, and it quickly became a favorite among the public. On the obverse side, we see the bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust along with the date of issue. On the reverse side of these early pennies we find the famous wheat ears design created by Victor David Brenner, symbolizing prosperity and growth. This wheat reverse remained in production until 1958, making the 1954 D penny one of the last few years of the iconic wheat series before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. Now let's focus on the year 1954 itself. At the Denver Mint, which is marked with the small letter D under the date, a massive number of wheat pennies were struck. More than 251 million of these coins rolled out of the Denver Mint presses. Because of such a large mintage, the 1954 D penny is generally considered common when compared to other rare dates in the wheat penny series. However, condition and quality are everything in the world of coin collecting. A circulated example that has been handled and worn down over time might only fetch a few cents above face value. But when you find a coin in brilliant uncirculated condition, shining with full red luster as if it just left the mint, the value jumps dramatically. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC have sold for $42 or even more at auctions and online marketplaces. Another factor that makes the 1954 D penny interesting is the possibility of errors and varieties. During the minting process, mistakes sometimes occurred, resulting in doubled dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and die cracks. These mint errors are highly collectible and can multiply the value of a simple 1-cent coin into hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. Collectors should look carefully under magnification for details around the lettering and the D mint mark to see if there is any sign of doubling or repunching. Error coins from the 1954 D run are always in high demand. But why is this coin still so loved by collectors even though millions were minted? The answer lies in its place in American history. By 1954, the United States was entering a post-war era filled with economic growth, optimism, and cultural change. Pennies from this era remind us of jukeboxes playing Elvis Presley, classic cars cruising down Main Street, and kids buying candy bars for just a few cents. Holding a 1954 D wheat penny is like holding a piece of that nostalgic golden age. Now let's talk about the current market. As of today, average circulated 1954 D wheat pennies are usually worth between 3 to 25 cents depending on condition. But if you own one in uncirculated grade with that original bright red copper glow, you could be looking at values in the range of $10 to $42 or even higher if the coin is a certified top-grade example. Add in the possibility of a rare mint error, and the value can skyrocket far beyond those numbers. Collectors and coin dealers actively seek out such pieces, and bidding wars can erupt in auctions whenever a pristine example comes up for sale. So what should you do if you have a 1954 D wheat penny? First, handle it carefully. Avoid cleaning it because cleaning actually reduces the value of coins. Place it in a protective holder or flip to preserve its condition. If you suspect your coin might be in a high grade or show signs of an error, consider submitting it to a professional grading service. A coin in a certified holder with a strong grade will always sell for more money and be trusted in the market. In summary, the 1954 D wheat penny may not be the rarest of Lincoln cents, but it is a charming piece of history with strong collector interest. It connects us to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, to the design brilliance of Victor David Brenner, and to the everyday life of Americans in the mid-20th century. With potential values climbing as high as $42 for uncirculated gems and even more for rare errors, this little coin is definitely worth your attention. So the next time you are going through your change jar, your coin rolls, or even your grandfather's old collection, keep an eye out for that small copper penny dated 1954 with the Denver Mint mark. It might just be more valuable than you think. Thank you for watching, and if you love learning about coin values, hidden treasures, and the history behind American currency, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another update. Share this video with friends and family because you never know who might have a rare coin tucked away. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next find be worth a fortune. That grabs viewers immediately before this long script starts. That way it keeps people watching. Today we are going to explore one of the most interesting coins ever minted in the United States, the 1956 wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln Wheat Cent. This is not just a simple 1-cent coin. This tiny piece of copper carries a rich history, a legacy of design, and in certain conditions it can be worth far more than its face value. In fact, some of these coins have been sold for big money in the coin collecting market, with current values reaching as high as $42 or even more depending on rarity, errors, and condition. Now let us go back in time and understand where this coin really came from. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was first introduced in 1909, designed by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner. It was released to honor the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure like Liberty. The wheat stalks on the reverse side of the coin symbolize prosperity and agriculture, representing the strength of the American nation during that time. Collectors often call it the wheat-back penny because of those two stalks of wheat curving along the edges of the reverse side. Now fast forward to 1956. The United States Mint in Denver produced the 1956 wheat penny. The D mint mark located just below the date on the front side of the coin tells us that this coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. That year, the Denver Mint struck an enormous number of these pennies. More than 1 billion coins were produced, making the 1956 penny one of the higher mintage issues of the wheat cent series. However, do not be fooled by the high mintage, because condition and rarity of certain variations can still make this coin valuable. The composition of the 1956 penny is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Because of its copper content, many of these coins over the years have developed natural toning, giving them shades of red, brown, or even rainbow-like colors. Collectors especially love uncirculated red examples, because they are bright and fresh-looking, as if they were minted yesterday. A coin graded in mint state with full red luster can fetch a very high premium compared to an average circulated coin that might only be worth a few cents. But what about the value today? Well, in average circulated condition, a 1956 wheat penny may only be worth around 5 to 20 cents. However, if you happen to own one in higher grades, especially those certified as mint state 65 red or better by professional grading companies, the price can jump significantly. Some have been known to sell for $30, $40, and even $42 or more on the open market. And that is without even considering the rare error coins. Now let's talk about errors, because error pennies are where the real money lies. A double die error on a 1956 penny, for example, could show doubling on the date, on the mint mark, or even on the letters of the motto "In God We Trust." Collectors go crazy for such varieties, and prices can skyrocket into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and clarity of the error. There are also repunched mint mark varieties, where the D mint mark appears to have been struck more than once. These repunched mint mark coins are a favorite among variety collectors and can bring in strong premiums compared to the normal strike. So why is the 1956 wheat penny so fascinating to collectors? It represents the end of an era. Just 2 years later in 1958, the wheat design was retired and replaced with the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. That means the 1956 penny is part of the last few years of the wheat penny design, and for many collectors it symbolizes the closing chapter of a beloved coinage style that lasted nearly 50 years. Imagine holding one of these coins in your hand. Think about it, a coin minted in 1956 has seen over 65 years of American history. It has passed through countless hands, witnessed decades of economic growth, cultural change, and even technological revolution. Yet, here it is today, still a reminder of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy and the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint. Now, when it comes to investing or collecting, the key to maximizing the value of your 1950-60 penny is condition. Always look for coins that still have that bright original red color, minimal wear, and sharp details. If you come across an uncirculated roll of 1950-60 pennies, you might be sitting on a small treasure chest, because individual high-grade examples pulled from such rolls can sell for impressive amounts of money. It is also wise to have any high-grade or unusual examples authenticated and graded by a reputable third party such as PCGS or NGC.so the next time you are looking through your change jar, your old coin collection, or even your grandparents' piggy bank. Do not overlook those little copper wheat pennies. That 1950-60 cent might not look like much at first glance, but with the right grade, the right error, or the right collector, it could be worth a surprising amount. And remember, coin collecting is not just about the value in dollars, it is about the thrill of the hunt, the history behind each coin, and the stories they carry with them through time. In conclusion, the 1950-60 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a 1-cent coin. It is a piece of history, a collectible treasure, and in some cases a valuable investment. With a market value that can reach up to $42 or higher for the best preserved examples, this humble penny proves that even the smallest coin can hold a big story and a big reward. Thank you for watching and joining me on this journey into the history and value of the 1950-60 wheat penny. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and want to learn more about rare coins worth money, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss a future video. And as always, keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, the next rare coin worth a fortune could be sitting right in your pocket. Change today. Do you want me to make a shorter, more hype-driven version to something punchy and dramatic for grabbing attention in the first 30 seconds of your video? Today we are diving deep into the world of wheat pennies, and not just any wheat penny, but the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Cent. At first glance it might look like an ordinary old penny, but believe me, this coin carries history, a unique story, and in certain conditions it can be worth far more than just a single cent. Some collectors today are paying impressive amounts for high-quality, or rare error examples of this coin, with values reaching up to $42 and even more depending on the condition, the mint mark, and the rarity of errors. So sit back, relax, and let us take a long journey through the fascinating story of the 1957 wheat penny. First, let's talk about the background. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began all the way back in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This design was the very first American coin to feature a real historical person rather than a symbolic figure. Victor David Brenner was the artist who created this iconic design. On the front side we see the bold and familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a man remembered for honesty, leadership, and freedom. On the reverse side of these coins, from 1909 until 1958, you'll notice the two classic wheat ears, one on each side, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. These wheat ears represent prosperity, growth, and the agricultural foundation of America. That's why collectors often call them wheat pennies. Now, the 1957 wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is why we see the small D mint mark just under the date. This was one of the last years of the wheat penny series before the design was changed in 1959 to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. In fact, the 1957 wheat penny marks the very end of a 50-year tradition. Millions were produced, over 1 billion coins in total, which means the coin is not extremely rare in circulation. But here's the interesting part. Even though billions were struck, collectors do not only look for rarity in terms of mintage. They look at condition, they look for mint errors, they look for high-grade uncirculated examples, and those are the coins that can bring real money in the market today. Imagine this, an average circulated 1950-70 penny that you might find in an old jar or pocket change is often worth just a few cents, maybe 5 to 10 cents at most. But if you find a coin that has been preserved in mint state, with bright red luster, no scratches, no signs of wear, then you're looking at a coin that could be worth dollars, even up to $42 or more in certain cases. And if that coin is graded by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC as MS65, MS66, or higher, the value jumps dramatically. Collectors fight for those top-grade coins because only a small fraction of the original mintage survived in pristine condition. But let's not stop there. Era coins are where things get really exciting. A 1957 Dewey penny with a double die error, a repunched mint mark, off-center strike, or any unusual defect from the minting process can sell for far more than its normal value. Some rare errors have sold in auctions for hundreds of dollars. Collectors love era coins because they are unique, one of a kind, and tell the story of how the coin was struck at the mint. Now let's talk about the historical value. In 1957, America was a country on the rise. The post-war era brought prosperity, new inventions, and a booming economy. A loaf of bread cost about 19 cents, gasoline was around 24 cents a gallon, and the average wage was just over $4,500 per year. The penny still had strong purchasing power back then. Kids could buy candy, bubble gum, or even a toy for just a few cents. Holding a 1957 wheat penny is like holding a little time capsule from that period in American history. It reminds us of the everyday lives of people in the 1950s, and that's why collectors love these coins beyond just the value in money. So what does the current market say? Right now, a regular circulated 1957 D penny may not make you rich, but in the collector's world, condition is king. A high-grade example can easily be worth $42 or more. An uncirculated roll of bright red 1957 Dewey pennies can even sell for hundreds. On top of that, special era coins with unique features can go for premium prices that surprise even experienced collectors. That's why if you find one of these coins in your change or in your family's old coin collection, don't spend it. Always check the condition, always look for mint errors, and if you think you have a really good one, get it graded by a professional service. And here is a fun fact. The Wheat Penny series is one of the most popular coin collecting sets in the United States. Many collectors start their journey with wheat pennies because they are affordable, historic, and beautiful. Completing a full set from 1909 to 1958 is a challenge that thousands of collectors love to pursue. And the 1957 D, being one of the final issues, is an important part of that collection. So in conclusion, the 1957 D wheat penny may seem small, but it carries history, design beauty, and potential value. From a single cent of 1957 to a coin worth $42 or more today, it proves that even the smallest coin can become a treasure. Always check your pocket change, your piggy banks, and those old coin jars. You never know when a simple penny could turn into a valuable discovery. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of wheat pennies and want to learn more about rare coins, their history, and their surprising value, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our future uploads. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever found a 1957 D wheat penny or maybe another rare coin hiding in your change? Let's talk about it in the comments section. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and remember that every coin has a story worth telling. Would you like me to also make you a catchy video title and description for this script to grab more views on YouTube?